Hi and welcome to the Crochet Circle. My name is Alex and in today's video I want to show you how to make a letter S. I'm again gonna begin with my drawing, sketching it out. So I'm gonna start with the base. It's gonna be just chain 12, then it's gonna be increases. This will be actually part 1 done. Then the next part is the curvy part until here, and this will be part 2, all of this, and then part 3 will be this little tooth, if I can call it here. Yes, I'm gonna do that in part 3 of it, so it's gonna be part 1, part 2 and part 3. I know it's not the best sketch of a letter S, but in the end it's gonna be much nicer and not so rough. So I'm just gonna begin. I have my 3mm hook, I have my blue yarn, and I'm gonna start with chain 12. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 chains. I'm gonna do one more chain, and then in the second one from the hook I'm gonna start with single crochets, and I'm gonna have 12 single crochets after row number 1. So I am now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I just remembered that I'm not gonna be doing it in blue yarn, because I need green S for my Merry Christmas garland. So I have to go and find my green yarn. There is already here. So I'm just gonna begin from the beginning again, chaining 12 and then doing all the rest of the 30 rows that I have to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Chain 1, and in the second one from the hook I'm gonna start with 12 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, and I have one over here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I miscounted, so let's hope the third time is the charm and I won't have to undo my work again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Chain 1, and in the second one from the hook again I have to do 12 single crochets. So I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Okay, it only took me 3 times to start with the letter S. That's gonna be a fun crocheting time. To be honest, I was kind of dreading this S, but it has to be done. So I did a chain 1 just to go up into the next row, and now I need 6 rows of increases at the beginning and at the end, because I need to go out. So I've just done the increase in the beginning, and when I'm gonna do an increase, that just means I'm doing 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And I'm gonna do that as well in the last stitch. And when I'm gonna come up to the 7th row, I'm gonna be doing this little part there then. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the last 2, again, this is an increase. So that means 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now I need 5 more rows like this. Again, I did a chain 1, and now 2 single crochets in the beginning, and when I'm gonna come till the end, it's gonna be 2 single crochets in the last stitch as well. Now I'm at the last stitch, again just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Turning the work around, again I am in the beginning, that means I have to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and then just single crochets till the other end. Now I am at the last stitch, that means it's an increase. I'm chaining 1, turning the work, again I'm at the start, means it's an increase. Now doing single crochets till the end of the row. And the last stitch again is an increase. And this is actually already my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th row. So I need 2 more rows after I finish this one, because on the 7th row I start with this little tail at the end there. Again an increase at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm in the 6th row now. Again, 6th row is an increase in the beginning, an increase at the end, and single crochets until in the middle, until I get to the last stitch. Now I am in the last stitch, that means I'm gonna do an increase, and that's row number 6, so now I'm on row number 7. It's gonna be an increase in the beginning, an increase at the end, And then I'm gonna start with the tail. The tail only has 2 rows, so I'm gonna soon be over with part 1 of the letter S. Now this is the last stitch, and that means it's an increase. Now I do chain 1, I do 7 single crochets and a decrease at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a decrease. And now the next row is just 8 single crochets. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. I'm gonna do a chain 1, cut the yarn, pull it through, and that is part number 1 done. Now part number 2 starts in the first stitch of the 7th row, and the next round calls for 7 single crochets and a decrease. So I just made a slip stitch. I'm gonna do a chain 1 again to go up with a row and a single crochet. As you can see, the end tail, I am gonna put it over my work and then just work it in. That means I don't have to worry about it at the end how to sew it in. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm gonna leave the tail away and a decrease. I'm gonna do a chain 1, and the next round calls for a decrease and 6 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Altogether there are 7 stitches. Now the next round is just single crochets, so that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets. Now the next row is an increase in the first stitch and then 6 single crochets. At the end I'm gonna have 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now the next stitch, the next row calls for 7 single crochets and an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and an increase. You see it's kind of the curvy part almost over. Now I'm just gonna continue with this round here, and here it calls for chain 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, I'm gonna do a chain 1 just to go up the row, and in the second chain, I'm gonna do a single crochet, and I need 10 single crochets all over the chains and 9 over the solid part, if I can say it like that. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and another 9 stitches over the solid part of the S. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I think you can see the S is slowly getting its shape. Now all I will have to do is, with stitches, I have to go this way, so in that kind of an angle. That means I'm gonna be decreasing on this side and I'm gonna be increasing on that side. So I'm gonna call this the front and this will be the back of the letter. So in the front, I said I'm gonna be doing decreases, so that just means 2 single crochets. I would love to say knit 2 together, but it's just crochet 2 together. So it's just gonna be 19 stitches in each of the row. I have to repeat this row 4 times. So I'm gonna then be moved to more to the left side by 4. Now I'm almost at the last stitch, and the last stitch is an increase on the back side of the letter. So that means I have to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. This is the back, this is the front. I'm gonna do chain 1, and again I have to repeat the same row 3 more times. That means an increase on this side, on the back side, on the open side, and then a decrease on the solid side. I don't know how else to explain it, but if you just look at the pattern that you can find on my webpage, it's gonna make perhaps more sense. So don't forget, down in the description below there is a link to a pattern. Now the last stitch here will be a decrease, so I have to see that I have 2 stitches left at the end. And how I do a decrease is, from the first stitch I just take the front loop, and then on the second stitch I go through both loops, pull it through and pull it through. Chain 1, again this is the front side, that means a decrease, and when I'm gonna come to the end, it's gonna be an increase. One more stitch, and now I'm at the last one. That means it's an increase, means 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Chain 1 to go up the next row, and again on the end, on the loose end, on the back it's increases, and on the front side it's decreases. This is the fourth of the row that I'm now doing. So the next row is gonna be just a bit different. There's a decrease on this side. Okay, so the next row calls a decrease in the beginning and then single crochets till the end. No increases here, just single crochets. So now I'm already here. I know a sketch is not the perfect one, but I think you can get the picture of how it's done. Now the next row is 7 single crochets and a decrease. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a decrease. I did a chain 1 to go to the next row, and this row means a decrease and then 6 single crochets. That was the decrease, and that was the first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Altogether I have 7 stitches in this row. The next row is just 7 single crochets. So in each of the previous row I just do a single crochet. Now the next row is an increase and then 6 single crochets. I will have 8 stitches in this row. Now the next one is 7 single crochets and an increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and an increase. That means 2 single crochets in one. And if you take a look, S is coming out nice. So now I'm on this part here where I have to extend with chain 13. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm gonna do a chain 1, and in the second chain from the hook I need to start with the single crochets, and in the chains I should get 13 single crochets. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 and 13. And here I have 9 more single crochets, so that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now I'm almost at the top of it. All I have to do is I have to reduce this part, so that means I'm gonna be decreasing on the left and decreasing on the left and decreasing on the right. So that means each of my first stitches and the last stitches are gonna be a decrease and just single crochets in the middle, and I do have to repeat that 6 times. And then my part 2 of the letter S will be done, and then all I will have to do is the little tooth that you see as a part 3, but it's still 5.5 rows until I get to there. Now that's my third from the end. I have 2 stitches at the end, so that means I need to do a decrease. And now I begin in the next round. Again, the first and the last stitches are decreases, and all in between it's just single crochets. I have 3 more stitches at the end, so I have 2 more, and the 2 more stitches means I need to crochet them together, so I get 1. Again, the first stitch is a decrease, and then single crochets in between. I have 3 more stitches. Now I have 2 more stitches at the end. That means it's decrease time. Again, a next row. The beginning is a decrease, and at the end I have to make a decrease as well. Because each row is now shorter, it gets faster done. The last 2 stitches, a decrease. One, two, three, 4. I need to repeat it 2 more times. So again, the first stitch is a decrease. Single crochets in between, and the last stitch is a decrease. last 2 stitches, a decrease. And now this is the last row, so it's 1 2 3 4 5, the last row that I have to do here. So a decrease, single crochets, and a decrease at the end. I have 2 more stitches till the end, so I just do a decrease in those 2 stitches, chain 1, cut the yarn and pull the yarn through. So as you can see, letter S is almost done. It just needs this little bit part here. So for that I'm gonna be using I'm gonna start at the tip of it, if I'm gonna be able to find a hole, to be honest. You know, I'm a really tight crocheter, so it sometimes does bug me. And this now calls for 7 single crochets and a decrease at the end. So I did a slip stitch, a chain 1 and a single crochet. So that means 1. What I am gonna try is work the end tail in, so that means I don't have to worry about it afterwards. Now I'm on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the next stitch is gonna be a decrease. I'm gonna help myself with my second crochet hook here. I just know it's much easier for me to do it this way, and I think if you're gonna do it the same, you're gonna see it's much easier if you can pull the second yarn through the second hole like this. I already did a chain 1, and now all I have to do is just single crochets, so that means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Chain 1, I can cut the yarn, pull the yarn through, and now this is my S done. It looks like this, and I'm gonna make another one, and then I'm gonna join them together. So I'm gonna leave this here, and I'm gonna start with the second one in a bit. It's not wine, if you're wondering what I'm drinking. So beginning with the same logic as before, 3 parts, doing the letter S, beginning with chain of 12. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Chain 1, and in the second one single crochets. Altogether it's gonna be 12 single crochets. Now this is 11th one and the 12th one. Now I have 6 rows where I'm going to be extending on the left and on the right side. That means increases on the left and increases on the right. Chain 1 to go into the next row. Now that means an increase in the beginning, 2 single crochets in the same one, and increase at the end, again 2 single crochets in one stitch. I'm at the last stitch, that means it has to be an increase. 1, 2. Again, the first stitch is an increase, 2 single crochets in one, I hope you can see it. Now I'm at the last stitch, that means again an increase. I'm in the beginning, again an increase. Single crochets till the end. And when I'm gonna be in the last stitch, I'm gonna do an increase. That means now I'm doing an increase. And that's 1, 2, 3. I need 3 more rows like this. 1, 2. And the last one, an increase. The first one is also an increase. And the last stitch is an increase. I'm just gonna count. That's the first row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 1 more row of increases in the beginning and at the end. Now the last stitch is an increase. Now I have to do this little taily part, if I can call it like that. So that means 7 single crochets and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a decrease. And this is the last row of part 1. Is just 8 single crochets because of the previous round I only have 8 stitches. I did a chain 1 and now I can cut the yarn. And I'm just gonna pull it through. Okay, so the bottom part 1 is done. Now I'm starting in the first stitch of this 7th round. I'm gonna do a slip stitch, chain 1 and a single crochet. This round row counts. This round requires 7 single crochets and a decrease. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a decrease. As you perhaps saw, I did put my end tail in my work, so I don't have to worry about it in the end. Now the next round calls for a decrease and then 6 single crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now the next round is just 7 single crochets because of the previous round I have 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I have to do an increase and 6 single crochets. That was an increase, and now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the next row is 7 single crochets and an increase. And then I'm not gonna turn the work around, but I'm gonna continue with chains to extend this part. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and an increase. And now I have to do chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, I'm gonna do a chain 1 just to go up into the next row, and in the second one from the hook I start with 10 single crochets in each of the chain. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and now I still have 9 single crochets on this solid part. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now this is the letter S. Again, what I have to do, I have to kind of shift to the left. So I'm gonna be decreasing on the outer side and increasing on the back side. So it's decrease on the front side. So this is the front, this is the back. So it's a decrease, single crochets till the last stitch, and then the last stitch is gonna be an increase. And I have to repeat this kind of a row 4 times. Yeah, I know, I do tend to kind of cut my letters in chunks because it's just much easier for me to count. And if the rows are repeated or parts of it are repeated, it's much clearer perhaps to understand how it's done. So here I'm at the last stitch, that means I have to do an increase, and what that means, just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now I'm here on the back of the letter, that means on this side there's an increase, and when I'm gonna come to the front part of the S, I'm gonna do a decrease. That's gonna be at the end of this row, because I'm going front, back, front, back, front, back. I'm zigzagging up from the bottom to top of the S. Okay, and I have 2 more stitches left, so that's gonna be a decrease. Now in the next round again, a decrease, because this is the front side of the S, and an increase when I come to the end. I am at my last stitch, that means an increase. On this side, the first stitch is an increase and the last stitch is a decrease. I have 3, now I only have 2 more stitches, and that means it's a decrease. Now I've already done 1, 2, 3, 4 of these repetitions. Now the next row calls for a decrease in the beginning, and then just single crochets till the end of the row. No increases here, just a single crochet in the last stitch. So this is how much of the S is done. Now I'm up to this part. Now this calls for 7 single crochets and a decrease, so that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a decrease. Now the next row is 1 decrease and then 6 single crochets, making it altogether 7 stitches in the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the next row is just 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now the next one is gonna be an increase in the first stitch, so that means 2 single crochets in one and then 6 single crochets till the end. And the next row is 7 single crochets and an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now an increase in the last stitch, and that's 8, 9. And now I have to continue with this part here, so that means I'm just gonna extend it with chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, I'm gonna start all over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm gonna do a chain 1 to go again up to the next row, and on this 13 single crochets I just have to do a single crochet in each of the stitch, and then I'm gonna have 13 single crochets on this loose side and 9 single crochets on the solid part. That means I'm just gonna tidy it up the front, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, and this is now the 13th one, and now 9 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now I'm on this top part where I just have to reduce from the left and from the right side. So all it means is I have to decrease the first and decrease the last stitch. In between there are just single crochets. So I already did the decrease in the beginning, and now I just have to do a decrease at the beginning, at the end, sorry. Now I have 2 stitches left, and all I'm gonna do is a decrease, again the first stitch is a decrease, and the last stitch will be a decrease as well. The last stitch is a decrease. So that's row number 2 of 6 done. I need 4 more. Again, the first one is a decrease, and then I'm gonna come to the end 2 stitches, I'm gonna make a decrease as well. And now that's a decrease. Again, the starting one is a decrease. This is the last one as a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 2 more rows like this. A decrease, single crochets, and a decrease at the end. Now that's a decrease at the end, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the last one. A decrease at the beginning, single crochets, and then another decrease at the end. That's 2 stitches at the end that I have to crochet together into one to make a decrease. Chain 1, cut the yarn, pull the yarn through, and now all I have to do is this little tooth, as I called it like that before. I have to start in the first one. I'm just gonna make a hole with my smaller needle to see where I have to go in, and I'm gonna do here a slip stitch, a chain 1, and a single crochet. Now I need to do 7 single crochets and a decrease. And as we can see, I am working the tail in, and I have 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is gonna be the 7th one. Now the 8th stitch is a decrease. That means I'm gonna again use my second crochet hook. I went in through the first one, and then I'm just gonna go in through the second one. I'm gonna grab the yarn and pull it over my main crochet hook and do a decrease. Now the next row is just 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm gonna do a chain 1, and I can cut the yarn. So this is the top of the S and this is the top of the S. So on this one I want to get all the loose ends on this side, and on the other side, on the other S, I want to get all the loose ends on the other side. So yeah, one S should have all the loose ends on the front and the other one should have all the loose ends on the back, because unfortunately with the letter S you cannot turn it around as you wish. They have to be one on top of each other, and because they're not symmetrical, the bottom or the left and the right part, you cannot stack them as you wish. So this is here. I need to put this one to the other side. And all I have to do now is the end of part 1 and the start of part 1, both going onto the right side of the letter. And this is the starting yarn. Now this is kind of a middle option. What you can do is, if you want to go all the way, then you can lead the yarn more into your work and cut the loose ends. That's like how it can be done, or yeah, it could be done, but I don't need it, so I'm not gonna do that. What you can also do is just not be bothered with all the loose ends and just work with them whenever you're joining them, and that means you are kind of making a shortcut, a nice shortcut, because you don't need to worry about the loose ends. Just when you're joining them, you have to be really careful what you're doing and be cautious so you don't forget about any of those loose tails. I'm just going with my needle. I have a nice big needle. Even though it's thick, it still has quite a good point at the end, so it's much easier to go through. And to be honest, I didn't have a needle like that for such a long time. It's been only like a couple of months now that I finally found a needle I can use and work with. And this is the last thing that I have to do, and then I'm gonna be joining the two S's together. Okay, that doesn't that didn't come out right. Okay, so I have one S that has all the loose ends on the top side, and I have one S that has all the loose ends on the bottom side. And now I'm just gonna align them. As you can see, it's a perfect fit. And I need to find my white yarn now. I'm back with my white yarn, so I'm just gonna start joining them. As you know from before, what I'm gonna do at the edges, I'm gonna be making small hooks loops to join, to make like a hole for the string to go through. But you definitely don't have to do it, because I did try it without as well, and it works okay. You can still string it through, so no need for those chains too. Actually, for these chains too that I'm doing now, I'm at the corner. The corner, as before, is always a single crochet, a chain one, and a single crochet in the same stitch, so that means turning the corner. And now I'm just gonna be doing single crochets in each of the rows. Some are gonna go easy, some aren't gonna go easy, but as long as you get the crochet hook through both of the S's, it should be fine, because they are gonna be joined together. I am not gonna be stuffing anything yet. I'm gonna be stuffing them when I'm gonna be turning the work around, when I'm gonna be going up towards the finish. I'm just checking also on the back side how it looks. I'm gonna be doing one slip stitch and one single crochet on this part, because it is kind of a sharp edge, so I don't need to do many stitches there. I wish it would be much easier to hold, but I'm gonna get around it somehow. and a slip stitch and a single crochet, and joining continues. I will suggest doing the stuffing as you go, because you don't want it to go. I have like a sharp edge as well here again, so I'm not gonna do a single crochet, I'm just gonna do a slip stitch, and then I'm gonna do a single crochet up. And I'm at the corner one. Now this corner needs to be turned, so I'm doing a chain one and a single crochet in the same stitch. Now this is my corner one again. To turn the corner, single crochet, chain one and another one in the same stitch. Now I'm already going down the S more. And again, I'm in the corner. I'm doing a chain one and turning the corner. And also this is the bottom part where I'm gonna be making those loops. I'm gonna do a chain two. You don't have to do that. It's just for the garland that I'm making. I've started it, so I have to do it on all the other letters as well. How would it look if I would have it on few only? Not good. Not good at all. I'm just gonna stuff this part here. Because it's gonna be a lot of bends going up and left and down and right. I do want to stuff it as I go along, because if I'm gonna be here, how else I would put the stuffing all the way up there, down there. Now again, I'm doing here the chain two, and this is my last one. Turning the corner, chain one, and that's it. Now again, I'm just going in each row in, doing single crochets. I'm gonna stuff a bit more. Today, yeah, it is that kind of a letter where you have to stuff it more as you go. Okay, so now I can continue. Well, yes, some rows are much easier to join, and with some I do have to apply a bit more pressure. I'm just gonna stuff a bit more. I think it would be a perfect timing actually to get rid of all the loose ends somehow as well. The white one has to go out. Okay, now I'm gonna continue with joining. I'm gonna do another single crochet, and then I'm gonna do a slip stitch, and another single crochet, and a slip stitch, and a single crochet, and a slip stitch, now I'm gonna do another single crochet, and then just continue with the single crochets till the end. But first I do want to stuff this part here. And now again I'm gonna continue with joining the S's together. Now this is gonna be my corner one. So to turn the corner, again I'm gonna do a chain one and another single crochet in the same stitch. again, this is my corner one. Chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch. And again, just single crochets in each row. I'm gonna fill the bottom part of the S up because I have few more single crochets and then it's gonna be done. I'm gonna do a chain 2 and do the loop, and now all I have to do is join them together, make a knot, and the letter S will be done. I think you heard me when I said this was one of my letters that I was dreading to do, because I think it's really hard because of all the, you know, curves that actually an S has. Looks good, right? All I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make a knot and then get rid of the white yarn for me. Don't forget, I'm doing it in a contrasting color, at least here on this S, because it's part of my Merry Christmas garland, and I do like the white effect on the green because it kind of looks like it would be snowing. I'm pulling the knot in, and now I'm just gonna pull the yarn a bit through, so that's one. And that's two. Oh. So close to the end. Okay, that's the second one. Now I can just cut it, arrange it a bit more, and ladies and gentlemen, that is crochet letter S. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, let me know in any kind of matter you want to do that. And I hope to see you soon. Happy crafting!